So our group made our special needs project on phenylketonuria, which is a little bit easier to say as just PKU, and our group consists of Grayson Blythe, Ella Woehl, and Jordan Myers. So what is PKU? PKU is a pretty rare inherited disorder, and what this disorder is there's an amino acid called phenylalanine, and when you have PKU, it allows that amino acid to excessively build up in the body. And PKU is caused by a defect in the gene that helps create the enzyme needed to break down phenylalanine. So with PKU, phenylalanine is allowed to excessively grow because the enzyme is not there to break it down. And without the function of that enzyme, there can be an extreme buildup when a person with PKU eats foods that contain proteins or artificial sweeteners. And people that leave PKU untreated and have high levels of phenylalanine have enough buildup that can cause severe brain damage and other serious health problems. And here we just have a molecular breakdown of the amino acid phenylalanine.
How does PKU impact nutrition? Diets for someone with PKU consist of little to no protein or dairy because their bodies cannot digest the enzyme found in protein. Because two major food groups are eliminated from their diet, people with PKU typically consume specific breads and pastas, as well as non-starchy vegetables and fruit, and natural sugar such as raw honey and cane sugar. PKU impacts nutrition in several ways. One of them is including bone density, because protein is part of what makes your bones strong. People with PKU, it's not uncommon to see brittle bones. It's a difficult diet, but not one that is impossible to maintain, especially if it's something you've grown up with. With moderation and variation, it can be completely manageable. So this is a visual representation of a typical PKU diet. As you can see, things on the outer rim of the circle are what are most avoided, and as you get closer to the center, those are what are consumed on most day-to-day basis. So you can see most vegetables, fruits, low protein bread and pasta, as well as juice, and milk, beans, nuts, chicken, fish, anything of the sort with high amounts of protein is almost completely avoided.
So here are some of the very limited treatment options that you can take if you have PKU. So the main and most common way to treat PKU is following a limited diet plan. So this diet plan obviously needs to limit phenylalanine as much as possible. So as mentioned before, you need to avoid foods with protein and artificial sweeteners. Infants with PKU may be fed breast milk, but they also need to consume a special formula in order to get the right nutrients. Once your baby gets to a certain age, they will be able to eat solid foods. So obviously you need to avoid letting them eat foods high in protein. Babies are normally screened for PKU 1 or 2 days after being born, so you will know if your baby has PKU and need to follow those steps. Children and adults also can drink special formulas when they have PKU in order to get protein substitutes because people with PKU can possibly have protein deficiencies because they have to avoid it so much. If the condition is detected early and treatment is begun, individuals with PKU can lead healthy lives. They just need to follow the right treatment plans and limited diet plans.
Long-term complications associated with PKU. So, when treated with the proper diet, there can be little to no complications associated with PKU. However, if left untreated or undiagnosed, it is not uncommon for seizures and brain damage to occur, as well as other problems such as delayed development, hyperactivity, social problems, or even some physical signs of eczema. Most newborns in the United States are tested for PKU right after birth so that parents can adjust the infant's diet accordingly. Um, Undiagnosed infants show no symptoms at birth, but they can rapidly develop within the first couple months of life. And it is very important for pregnant women with PKU to see their doctor regularly to ensure that they are staying on diet and that the baby is getting the proper nutrition that they need. If mothers go off diet when pregnant, because their bodies cannot digest the protein enzyme, they can share some of that toxicity with the baby, which can be very detrimental to development as well as growth. So it is very important that pregnant women stay strictly on their diet.
So, how does PKU impact physical activity? An infant with classic PKU may show no signs or symptoms and may appear normal for the few months of their lives. However, if the child goes untreated, the following symptoms may begin to occur: eczema, musty odor of the breath, skin, urine, stomach growth, seizures, tremors and shaking, and intense hyperactivity. In older children, more serious seizures may start to occur along with behavior problems. If PKU is not diagnosed soon after birth and is left untreated for an extended period of time, irreversible brain damage and mental disabilities may occur. If the mother of the child has PKU and is not following an appropriate diet throughout the pregnancy, a number of complications could occur, including miscarriage, heart defects, low birth weight, and physical abnormalities such as smaller head and limbs. Some other information on PKU. In the United States, PKU occurs in 1 to 10 to 15,000 newborns, most of which are caught almost immediately after birth. This condition is inherited in an autosomal recessive pattern, which means both copies of the gene in each cell have mutations. The parents of an individual with an autosomal recessive condition each carry one copy of the mutated gene, even though they may not show signs or symptoms of the condition. So basically, an affected child will get an affected chromosome from each parent. If they've received just one affected chromosome from, say, just the mother and not the father, they're just carriers. So there's a 25% chance that you are affected if both of your parents are carriers. However, if you just get one chromosome from both parents, it's a 50% chance you're just a carrier, and then there's another 25% chance that you're just unaffected at all. As of now, there is no cure for PKU, but there is evidence to support that if an affected child is helped within the first 2 to 3 weeks of their life and follow a more strict diet, that they can live long, healthy, normal lives.